We are fresh off of a Philadelphia Eagles win in Kansas City at Arrowhead Field against the Kansas City Chiefs in that Super Bowl rematch. The Eagles got the job done. They got the victory there Sunday. Awesome. Go Birds. Unfortunately, the Philadelphia Phillies could not have that same success Sunday afternoon against Kansas City. In their own sport, they lost to the Kansas City Royals at home in Citizens Bank Park 10-3 in that series finale of that 3-game series. The Phillies did still win that 3-game series 2-1. So still good stuff by the Fightins. Welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Now, the Phillies had an opportunity to win and clinch the National League East Division on Sunday afternoon there with a win over the Royals. Unfortunately, lost that ball game 10-3. Now, gonna have to play the little bit of a waiting game here to clinch the division. The Mets did also win their ball game Sunday. So if the Mets would have lost, the Phillies would have clinched the NL East that way. But unfortunately, the Phillies lost, the Mets won, and we're still waiting here for the final into the division title for the second consecutive season here for the Phillies. They do still have a 12-game lead over the New York Mets in the National League East. The magic number remains at 1, whether that's a Phillies win or a Mets loss. For the rest of this regular season, just one of those needs to happen, and the Phillies are NL East champions. They did, however, clinch a playoff spot Sunday with the San Francisco Giants loss. So the Phillies are in the playoffs. We do have officially another Red October for the 4th consecutive season now, I believe. 2022, 23, 24, and now 2025. So great stuff by the Phillies. They are officially in the playoffs. Still one win away or one Mets loss away from clinching the NL East for the second consecutive season. They do begin a tough 3-game road series against the Los Angeles Dodgers out in LA here Monday. All 3 games are 10 o'clock local starts, out with that being out there on the West Coast. Obviously, the West Coast is 3 hours behind here on the East Coast. So late nights for the Phillies. Make sure you guys get your rest. Make sure you watch a really great series that should be out there with the Phillies and the Dodgers. Now the Dodgers are right on the Phillies' heels, a couple games back from them for the second best record in the National League. So that's something to watch. This is a big series for positioning in the playoffs. Obviously, the Phillies are only about 2 or so games behind the Milwaukee Brewers for the top seed in the National League. So the Phillies got to keep winning games if they want to keep position one of these top 2 seeds for a first-round bye. We'll see what happens. But we do know this, a very tough series here starting tonight on Monday against the Dodgers. The Phillies have to continue to play their best brand of baseball against a very good team out there in LA. Now, to the game there on Sunday, that loss, not a lot of good stuff for the Phillies. Aaron Nola was on the mound for his team trying to wrap up a second consecutive National League division title. Unfortunately, again, did not happen with that 10-3 loss to the Royals and with the Mets winning in extra innings in their ball game on Sunday. Aaron Nola hasn't had a great year. He did have a very good start against the Mets, though, in that 4-game sweep that the Phillies had at Citizens Bank Park right before that Royals series. Very good win in that 1-0 shutout win for Aaron Nola. Just not the same success there Sunday in that loss to the Royals. He allowed 2 home runs in the loss, including a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. That tied the ball game 2-2. The Phillies had an early 2-0 lead at the time. 2-2, 2-run home run. And then in the very next inning, he allowed a 3-run home run to veteran catcher, one of the best catchers I've ever seen, Salvador Perez. Royals took a 6-2 lead and really never looked back. Ended up winning that ball game 10-3. Aaron Nola, 2 home runs allowed, 5 runs total off of those home runs. Obviously, he lets up a lot of home runs, but you can live when there are solo home runs. You can't really live with that when there's guys on base, 2-run home run, 3-run home run. You're just going to put your team in a tough situation to try to win the ballgame, and that's exactly what happened Sunday in that loss to the Royals. Aaron Nola's final line was 6 innings, 6 hits allowed, 1 walk, 6 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, and obviously he picked up the loss to the Royals. Not a great outing start by Aaron Nola, but hopefully he can bounce back and go back to how he was in the start prior against the Mets and to the Aaron Nola we all know he can be from watching him pitch in a Phillies uniform for years and years and years. Being an ace of this rotation formerly, being one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball formerly, he needs to get back to at least pitching consistently, not letting up these home runs too often. If without Zach Wheeler, these guys need to step up, and it really starts with Aaron Nola, the veteran of the starting rotation. Something good that we can talk about, Kyle Schwarber. He is just still mashing baseballs, Schwarbomb after Schwarbomb after Schwarbomb for the Phillies veteran slugger. Now, I did not have a video up for Sunday before the ball game. I apologize for that little bit of miscommunication, but Kyle Schwarber in Saturday night's win over the Royals to go up in that series 2-0 and already win that series before obviously dropping the series finale Sunday 10-3. Kyle Schwarber was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 walks in that win Saturday night. He hit a solo home run in the 5th inning of that ball game, tied it up 4-4 at the time, and then he had an RBI in the 6th inning to increase the Phillies lead 7-4 in that ball game. They ended up winning that Saturday night, again, to take that 2-0 series lead at the time. And then Kyle Schwarber again on Sunday. Although the Phillies offense wasn't great, although they lost 10-3, Kyle Schwarber hit another Schwarbomb in that 10-3 loss to the Royals. That came in the very first inning, the second batter of the game. He launched a 414-foot solo home run there to give the Phillies an early 1-0 lead. JT Realmuto also hit a solo home run in that inning, gave the Phillies a 2-0 lead. Obviously carried that lead until the 5th inning when Nola allowed his first of 2 home runs, a 2-run shot, 2 tied up 2-2. But Kyle Schwarber, home runs, power, he's doing great for the Phillies, obviously having a historic and career year for him. With his home run on Sunday, that was his 52nd of 2025. Second most home runs in Major League Baseball behind only Seattle Mariners' Cal Raleigh, who also hit a home run Sunday. He's up to the Major League leading 54. So Kyle Schwarber right there trying to pass Cal Raleigh for the most home runs in Major League Baseball with just a few more series, few more games left here in the regular season. But he does have the most RBIs in Major League Baseball, Kyle Schwarber, with 127 now. Again, that is the most in Major League Baseball. Significant lead in that category. The next most is Pete Alonso of the New York Mets. He has 117, so 10 more RBIs for Kyle Schwarber than the second most there in Major League Baseball. Having a career year, having a historic season. Ryan Howard has the most home runs in a single season in Phillies franchise history of 58. Kyle Schwarber hit his 52nd yesterday on Sunday. He's there within striking distance. Obviously, not many games left to play, but it's doable. It's possible. When he's hitting home runs and he's going good, they come in bunches. So we'll see what happens with Kyle Schwarber. Regardless, an incredible season for the Schwarbarian. Hopefully, he keeps it up for the rest of this regular season and right into October baseball. He is going to be a key player, a key piece if the Phillies are going to win a World Series championship here in 2025. Now, I mentioned the Phillies offense wasn't really that great yesterday in that 10-3 loss to the Kansas City Royals. Pretty slow day. Obviously, it looked good at first with that Kyle Schwarber solo home run, JT Realmuto solo home run as well in the first inning to take that early 2-0 lead. You thought the Phillies were well on their way to another good win, a good offensive performance, and a NL East clinching title season in that ball game. But unfortunately, they stalled out in that ball game. Not much offense for the Phillies outside of that first inning. They had 5 hits and just 3 runs, obviously, in that loss to the Royals on Sunday. 3 of their 5 hits were all solo home runs. Obviously, one by Schwarber, one by Realmuto, both in the first inning. And then Bryson Stott hit a solo home run in the 8th inning. Just far too little, far too late for the Phillies. Again, 3 of the 5 hits were solo home runs. Nobody on base. The other 2 hits, singles. In fact, the Phillies had no runners in scoring position all game long. They hit the 3 solo home runs. Runs scored off of that. Their 3 runs. But 2 singles. They couldn't get into scoring position. They couldn't get into second base. And just, you're not going to win ball games that way. Unfortunately, the Phillies lost, but they have been playing good baseball as of late. They still got the series victory over the Royals, playing really good baseball. They got to keep it up. They got to brush this one off and get right back to it here tonight in this huge series opener against the Los Angeles Dodgers, a very good team out there on the West Coast on the road. So hopefully that all works out for the Phillies. Hopefully we're talking about a division clinching win for the Phillies, and everything is going to be looking good. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Ranger Suarez on the mound to start this 3-game series for the Phillies here on Monday night against the Dodgers. Hopefully, again, we're talking about a win. We're talking about a NL East clinching win, and we're just right back on to the high road with the Phillies. And we are, just talking about win after win after win right into the end of the regular season and into October. Again, thank you guys for watching. Go Birds and go Phils as always.